This is Kevin F. Pope with a Pope's Perspective, and my thoughts on Avengers Endgame. This film was more a mixed bag for me. There's so much great stuff in this film, and it was satisfying. I did not like the film. Maybe I had higher expectations because of Infinity War. If you haven't seen my review for Infinity War, I had a lot to talk about. I loved that film from start to finish. There was just so much, and then the ending and Thanos, and it was just, so I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next? It's kind of like The Empire Strikes Back. In The Empire Strikes Back, it ends at a point where they really haven't won. And, well, most people have seen The Empire Strikes Back, so I don't know if it's too much spoilers. I'm not talking about The Empire Strikes Back, but it's not the conclusion. It doesn't have a happy ending resolve. It leaves you like, what's going to happen next? So much like the same in Empire Strikes Back, it leaves you the next film, okay, I want to see what happens. I'm anxious to see what happens next. And I'm going to go further to say that my thoughts on, like, I'm wondering if Endgame is going to be like Return of the Jedi in the same way. Like, Return of the Jedi is it's a good conclusion, but it's not as good as Empire Strikes Back. And I am going to say that Endgame is not as good as Infinity War. But I'm not saying that Endgame is not a good movie, because it is a good movie. I will say it has more flaws, though. Whereas in Infinity War left me at the end, what's going to happen next? I mean, there was just like so much that led up to what happened, and you had Thanos executing his plan and everything leading up to that point, and the Avengers facing this threat that they've never faced before. And then Endgame is the aftermath, like, what do we do next? I was anxiously engaged in the complete entirety of Infinity War. And I know Infinity War is not quite 3 hours. It's almost 3 hours, but Infinity War really moved, and it did not feel 3 hours or almost 3 hours. That the film flowed really well. Endgame had some moments that dragged. It felt long, but we knew it was going to be long, with so much to do to reverse the Thanos snap. In some ways, like, the beginning parts were, I don't know, the end was good. I really was invested at the end. And it was emotional. The end, I think, is where this film really succeeds. But it took some time to get to that point where the film really flowed. And so I don't mind that the film was long, but at times I felt that it was long. So I wish that it would have flowed more, and I didn't feel the length. So Infinity War succeeded more on that end, even though Infinity War was a shorter film, but it didn't feel as long as it was. Endgame did feel long at times. Not the entire film, but it did feel long at times. Yeah, I know I haven't said anything about the plot, anything that happened, and really, I don't want to say anything, because people should experience it for their own opinions. And, like, let's be honest, everybody's going to see this film, but for anybody who hasn't seen this film and you're watching this review without spoilers, I guess this is what you're going to get in this review. This is my thoughts on Endgame. I really don't want to give away any plot details, because there is a lot that happens in the film. So more of my critique will be in my spoiler review. So after you've seen the film, come back and watch my spoiler review, or if you've already seen the film, go ahead and watch my spoiler review. So yeah, at this point, I'm going to say that Endgame is a mixed bag, but it's not a mixed bag saying like, oh, this was a terrible film. This film was a letdown, because it wasn't. I think for me, I loved Infinity War so much, and it was so well executed, and parts of this film, parts of this film were not as well executed. I was left with questions at the end of really plot holes. I mean, I guess it makes sense that, okay, it works in the plot, but then it lets me questions like, well, if this happens, then isn't that going to create this happen? Or how does this work if this happened? So, I'd say there's more inconsistencies with this film. But is it an enjoyable film? Yes. And like I said, it's worth seeing. Is it worth seeing multiple times? I would say it's worth seeing multiple times. If you want to see it multiple times, go see it multiple times. I'm seeing it at least again. I don't know if I'm going to go see this one as many times in theaters as I did Infinity War. I saw Infinity War and I'm like, I want to go see this again. I want to go see this again. And I feel fine seeing it once or twice in theaters. So I don't know. I think this one just has to resonate with me a little bit more, and I've got to think about it. Maybe as time goes on, I will like this movie even more, and I will see things I'm like, okay, maybe this works better, or maybe they'll explain things more. So I guess I was left a little bit let down with this film, but don't take this as like, I didn't like this film, it was not worth seeing, because it was worth seeing. Okay, we get the resolve of what happened after Infinity War. I'm not going to tell you what happens or how it happens in this part of the non-spoiler review. So this is a good film. It's worth seeing. Like I said, I think the real reason the part of why I feel somewhat let down with this film is because I loved Infinity War so much, and perhaps they set themselves up so high with Infinity War that it was very hard to live up to. And I'm sure many people are going to disagree with me. I wouldn't say it's on the level of the hate that people gave with The Last Jedi with Star Wars. It is nowhere near that. I'm actually one of the few that did not dislike The Last Jedi as much as other people did. Between this film and The Last Jedi, I would say I would watch this one over The Last Jedi. You are emotionally invested in this film. You become emotionally invested in the characters, and there's things that work, and it brings out your emotions. So this is a good film. Like I said, I have some mixed bags about this film. I'm sorry if this review doesn't give you any information. These are my thoughts on Avengers Endgame without any spoilers. So, sorry you didn't get anything about the plot, but you really don't want to know about the plot you know what the essential plot of this is, okay? After the snap, the Avengers are going, what do we do now? Can we reverse this? It's like, what can we do? That's really all you need to know. So go into the film, go see it. I mean, if you've seen Infinity War, you want to know what's going to happen. Go see the film. You're not going to be disappointed. You may feel some disappointment like I did, but I'm not disappointed that, oh, this film was a crap film from start to finish. My disappointment is more that it wasn't executed as well as Infinity War. And I will talk about that more in my spoiler review. So this is to be continued.